Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Elvany, and in this quick guide I will be teaching you how to build and master Sanhua. Now, don't get discouraged by her 4-day minigame because you will see that at the end of the day it is not that hard and that you won't be able to miss it anymore. Trust me when I say this. Like and subscribe, and let's get right into the video. So before we get into the stats or anything else, let me tell you first what Sanhua is. Sanhua primarily is a buffer for your main DPS, and secondary, a sub DPS. There are two ways to build her. It's either this one up here or this one right there. The main difference between these builds is one is gonna do damage, the other one isn't. Is that a big deal? No, not at all. On my free-to-play account, as an example, I use her with the build right there because it is free, you do not need to use any resources for that build, and it does the same thing the one up there does. Trust me, the one on the right is much better and you don't need specific stats to make it work. So, for her stats, you primarily want to aim for around 150 energy regen. That should be your go-to ER. And those are my stats for the crit rate, crit damage, but that is because I have built her to be a sub DPS and buffer at the same time. For her talents, as I like to call them, you do not need to invest into any of these at all. You do not need this. This is pointless. Don't invest into those. It only will increase your damage by a slight amount. That is it. Her sequences, on the other hand, if you manage to get her S6, you're lucky because that is going to be an additional damage increase for your main DPS. Now, for the free-to-play build. The free-to-play build will use the Overture weapon. The Overture weapon is giving you a lot of ER, making her get the 140 to 150 ER mark, which I prefer to have on her, very easily. Simply level it to about level 70 and call it a day. So before we get to the combat showcase, I will also show you all the buffs that are going to be triggered as soon as Sanhua uses her outro skill and leaves the field. Now, let's start with her own outro skill, which is going to amplify the basic attack damage of the coming resonator by 38%. Secondly, the Impermanence Heron, as soon as you use it, and upon her leaving the field or using her outro, will increase the damage of the coming resonator by 12%. And since you already use the 5 set piece of Moonlit Clouds, that resonator will also gain 22.5% attack. Apart from all of that, if you have her on sequence node 6, she will also give the main DPS, or rather the entire team, a attack percent boost of 20%. And with all of this out of the way, now I will only tell you which teams work best with her, or rather which main DPS resonators you should be combining her with. The first team is going to be Camellia, Sanhua, and either Verena or Shorekeeper. And the second one is going to be Encore, Sanhua, also Verena or Shorekeeper. The reason these two main DPS resonators work the best with Sanhua is because they benefit primarily from her basic attack damage boost, making them even stronger than they already are. Now the only thing left for me to show you is how to use her in actual combat, or rather her rotation. It is very simple. Do not be scared of her 4-day minigame. It's going to be fairly easy because the 4-day gauge is going to be more than half full and pretty much unmissable at that point. My goal here is pretty simple. So you want to start on your support, which is going to be Verena or Shorekeeper in this case, and fill their concerto without triggering their echo skill. You will then enter to Sanhua, use her E and R in quick succession, and start holding her left click as soon as you press R. What that's going to do, it's going to begin charging her heavy 4-day attack as soon as the ultimate animation ends. And as you can see in this clip, her 4-day is over half full because you press both E and R at the same time. So it's pretty much unmissable. And you can also hear a sound cue and see a visual cue whenever you hit the blue part. With a little bit of practice, you will master this in no time. So now that you've done this, as soon as you let go of your left click on the blue part, you want to quick swap back to your support and use their echo skill. Once you do that, quick swap back to Sanhua and her concerto will be full by then. The reason you do this is to maximize the echo buff from your support And the reason why this works is because Sanhua doesn't get her concerto energy filled before the icicles explode, making you able to do such shenanigans. As soon as you are back on Sanhua, you use her Impermanence Heron as well, and you intro onto your main DPS and enjoy the wreckage. Thank you for watching this video. Let me know in the comment section down below which resonator I should cover next. Like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one, boys. Peace.